There are a lot of ways we can make cleaning easier, and sometimes we don't know how, and other times we're punishing ourselves by trying to do the most thorough, perfect, excellent job possible. And I want to talk about that today. I want to give you ways to make life easier and tell you why you should take them. My name is Sarah. If you're new here, I make cleaning for people who have chronic conditions. Rude. My name is Sarah. I make cleaning content for people who have chronic conditions. That might be mental health stuff, that might be physical health, and it might even be that you just have a chronic deficiency in time. So whatever it is that is causing you to have not enough time or energy for the tasks around the house, I make content for you. So if you're interested, we're gonna hop right in. If you don't know how to make cleaning easier, that is totally fine. So many people were never really taught how to clean or an efficient way to clean, and I know almost no one who was taught how to clean for their capacity. Whether you're neurodivergent or you're having depression or anxiety or chronic pain, there are things that you can do to make your life easier and keep things running around your house better, and you maybe just don't know them. My entire cleaning system is around this idea that we do not have consistent time and energy every day. And if you're interested in that, this is the first you ever heard of it, I'll put some information in the description box. It has changed my life. I used to be behind all the time. I felt so overwhelmed and stressed that I couldn't get started, and I didn't know how to maintain my house. I never did deep cleaning. I just basically felt like I was being dragged along. I was never able to catch up, and I've done a lot of work on that. It's what I share with you guys. But the other part of the work is not just having these tools, but it's also the mental stuff. Believing that you're worthy of taking breaks, of having little shortcuts that you build into your routine. And that is an important thing to talk about, because guess what? You are worth it. You deserve to have every tool and resource at your fingertips. And you also deserve to realize that the things that make you not want to clean are legitimate. You're not being lazy. I'm going to talk a lot about laziness in the coming weeks, and like the cycle that we go through that keeps us very stuck, because there is a solution to getting out of that stuckness. But the overview is you are worth taking these steps to make life easier for yourself. If you do not want to clean, if you are seeing stuff stack up around you, if you're seeing buildup, if you're seeing clutter everywhere, and you can't get yourself motivated, that generally means that you know you don't have the time and energy to do all of the things, but you're still expecting yourself to do all of the things. So on some level, you're like, I'm gonna just chill until I have what it takes to do a perfect, complete, thorough job on my house. If you feel overwhelmed, if you're like sitting there and you just cannot get started, that could be executive dysfunction from ADHD. I definitely have that, but it can also just be the fact that you know you're not equipped. You do not have the capacity to do all of that. So a workaround is to not do all of it, to do a bad job, to do just the most priority tasks that are in your home right now. That works. It works. And if you actually allow yourself to have that grace and to have that flexibility in your schedule, this is what I call my low capacity time, then you're not going to stay in low capacity nearly as long. You're going to be able to move to a place where you feel a lot better mentally and physically, because you're giving yourself the rest you need. You're not guilting yourself about it, and you're still managing to get things done because you don't make an enormous, insurmountable task for yourself. You make it into little pieces. You do the little shortcuts. So I think that's what I want to say about that. I could deep dive on this all day long, but I don't want to make this super long. I have a very limited time until the baby wakes up. So I'm going to tell you how I do it, and then take from that what you will. But I feel like I've really figured this out, because I don't beat myself up anymore. My house flows, everything's good. Is it perfect and pristine? No. I have a 1-year-old baby. I have a 4, 6-year-old, almost 10-year-old tomorrow, 11-year-old, 3 dogs. I work full time. It's crazy. But it still is doing what I need it to do. I'm not losing stuff. Everybody's got clean clothes. There's groceries. The things that I need to happen are happening, and I am slowly cycling through the deep cleaning in my house all the time. So the buildup and stuff isn't really getting a chance to take hold. Okay, so this is what I do. On the absolute worst days, on the days where I just feel like I might have a breakdown if I put too much on my plate, I don't put too much on my plate. I will do things that are just as important to keeping your home running, that don't have to be physical in nature, or that are extremely, extremely minimal in effort. So one thing that you can do if you're just on your bed or on the couch is you can make your grocery list. You can menu plan. You can assign chores to people, respond to emails. You can call the people that make life terrible and you still have to call them, like insurance companies. You can make appointments. You can respond to emails. You can set up the calendar for the family and just check that everything's going on. I don't go to the store anymore. I order groceries, and that right there saves me a lot of effort. But just the act of ordering the groceries takes time. Am I going to do that when I have tons of energy? I mean, no. Even if I'm having a week where I have relatively high energy, I know that towards the end of the day, that's when I'm going to be like crashing pretty hard. And that's a perfect time to curl up on the couch. Maybe y'all are watching TV, or maybe you put the kids to bed and order my groceries. I hate budgeting. I hate anything with finances, but that is something that you can do sitting down. Maybe you're at the table or just relaxed as much as possible, and you can work on your budget. You can pay bills. I think I already said that, but you get my drift. There are very important things that can be done to keep your house moving, that can be done while you're still physically resting. And I'll say it one more time in case you don't believe me and you haven't heard this enough, but you deserve rest. That is a physical, biological need that you have. None of us give ourselves enough rest. And don't tell me, oh, I lay on the couch all day long. I don't want to hear it, because if you lay on the couch all day long and you feel good about it and you're happy that you're resting and you're putting that positive energy out there, you're not going to constantly feel terrible. For most of us, for almost all of us. If you're laying on the couch all day long and you're guilting yourself and you're thinking about all the things that you should be doing and you're beating yourself up and thinking that you're a lazy human being, then it's not going to be restful. You are wasting your time. So that is why I propose that you think about times when you know that you have lower energy, or if you wake up on a given day and you had a lot of things planned, but you feel terrible, make the decision to rest, and then do the things where you can rest from the bed, intersperse them with good stuff like watching shows or whatever it is that suits you and your lifestyle, and do it with commitment, with intention that this is an important thing that I'm doing, resting, and this non-physical thing right here that I'm working on. Moving on, in my low capacity toolkit, I have things that I do when I feel absolutely like I cannot move around a lot. Nope, I'm not gonna, no, I have one more thing to say. If you say that you don't deserve to rest because you don't have physical things going on, like maybe you don't have chronic pain or mobility issues or anything like that, and you say to yourself, I'm depressed or I feel anxious and I'm choosing to shut down, I'm choosing to not fight against it. Yes, you are. Resting is a very effective way to fight against depression and anxiety and everything else. But again, I'm going to refer to the point earlier. It does not work if you're beating yourself up the whole time you're resting. I 100% believe this. I've seen it play out in my life. I've seen it play out that it doesn't work when I am horrible to myself when I'm resting. So just take my word for it. Just try it out. It takes practice to actually rest without that internal thing going on. So for now, you can't just flip a switch. You can't just all of a sudden start talking nicely to yourself. But just for now, notice the thoughts that you're having and say, hey, I know that I've been sleeping a lot. I know that I've been resting a lot. Is it possible that there's something going on that my body and mind are trying to resolve. That's it. You don't have to fight yourself. You don't have to pretend that you're feeling 100%. You don't have to bully yourself. Like, nothing's wrong with you. Get up. Just ask yourself, is it possible that there's something going on that my body and mind are trying to heal? Keep asking yourself. You will get to a place where you can rest comfortably with peace, and you will see how quickly your body and your mind feel that soothing and are able to move on. Okay, now we're going to move to the next step. So in my low capacity toolkit, I have the days when I absolutely can't do anything, or I choose not to, because I can always make myself, but it has consequences. When I do not want to be moving around very much, but I still feel like I can get up and do things. Or I have a baby, so there are not a lot of situations where I can sit down at this time. There used to be plenty of times when I could. So whenever she's moving around and I need to move with her, there are low impact things that I can do to keep moving the needle forward in my home, and also not like doing a lot of physical exertion. So we're going to use the Swiffer as an example. Dusting is a job that never used to get done in my house for two reasons. Because A, there were so many bigger things that I thought I had to do first before I could do something like dust. And two, I really don't like wasting things, but dusting with microfiber and other things like that requires me to have a lot more mental and physical bandwidth. This is just something I've come to realize about myself. So I would just put it off because I don't want to use a Swiffer. I don't want to use like disposable things. And why would I dust? That's not a priority when I have these other things. And you're right, dusting is not a priority when there's a bunch of other stuff going on. Except if you don't have the energy to do the other things. Mentally, it's so good for you to be able to have a little forward movement. It can be small, but it will make you feel different, especially if you're able to do that consistently. At first, it's going to be hard because you're going to think small tasks done badly are not going to move the needle forward. But if you just have a little faith, understand that I have been the biggest disaster ever. And I have a lot of challenges towards me cleaning, and it has worked tremendously for me. It's worked for a lot of people. I get emails about this and messages all the time. So just take my word for it. So when you are in a situation where you're trying to just do a little bit, pull out your Swiffer. Okay, we're going to pull it out. You can do so many things with this. I like to use the crap out of my Swiffers because the waste thing. So I will start from like the cleanest thing and end with the dirtiest thing. Let me tell you what I mean by that. After I put the Swiffer pads on, I will do general dusting that you might think of. Like I will do the pictures, the fans. I'll just go ahead and do a quick brush off of the blinds. Then when most people are ready to throw their Swiffer pads away, I will keep going. So I have wooden stairs in my house. Not everybody does this, just an example. And vacuuming them is very hard on me physically. You know what's not hard? Swiffering them. And if I didn't mention, you need the 6-foot baby. You just do. It's got 2 little prongs, 6 feet. I think it's called like the heavy duty Swiffer or something like that. I got mine at Lowe's. I start at the top of the stairs and I just start Swiffering all of the dog hair and dirt and stuff down each stair until I get to the bottom. And then I'll just vacuum it up. Another thing that's super helpful, and it doesn't matter that your Swiffer is already like covered in hair and gross stuff, is to get into the corners of whatever room that you're vacuuming. This of course only applies if you have hard floors. So if you're doing that in your kitchen or your bathroom, if you have carpet in the other rooms, or if you have hard floors like me, you can do it wherever. But I'll get into the corners where I would otherwise have to like pull the vacuum extensions out and kind of like be bending and all that stuff. And I'll just get, because it's a 6 foot, so I don't have to bend over or anything. I'll just pull all that stuff to the center of the room, all the dog hair and dust and dirt. Just get it to the center of the room. Then I'll pull out my vacuum and I'll vacuum the high traffic areas of the room. I am not going into the corners. This is something that I do regardless of if I have the ability to Swiffer into the corners or not. If I'm working with that at that time, I'll just vacuum the main areas, the main traffic areas. And my perfectionism brain, I've been working on this a while, told me, why do a job if you're not going to do an excellent job? Okay, cool. If you have the time and energy and desire to do that, but what if you don't? The only two options are to do a bad job, or just not the very best, or not do it at all. And I chose to not do it at all for a very long time. It was super stressful on my mental health. I don't like cleaning. I've told you guys a million times, I don't like cleaning. So I'm not one of those people who's like, cleaning is soothing to me. Hate it, have so many other things that I would rather do, but it does really affect my mental health. I struggle a lot with depression and anxiety, and just having things a little bit more picked up, a little bit cleaner, it helps. So that's just one example. When I have more energy than that, then I'll start working on my priorities. I'll, make sure that the kitchen is clean. I'll work on trash and laundry and stuff like that. But the days when you don't feel good, physically or mentally, are not wasted days. That makes you feel bad. An intentional day or however long that you want to rest is also not a wasted day. I'm just trying to give you ideas for when you really want to still keep moving, but physically or mentally, you need to take it easy. I had thought about doing like room by room little tips like the Swiffer that I use for each room. So if you guys are interested in a video like that, just let me know in the comments and ask me anything. Give me your feedback if you would like to, and I will see you next time. Bye.
There was sun and there was rain. Beauty